By now, everyone knows that artificial intelligence is huge, it is coming, and the new era will be of artificial intelligence. Having said that, it seems that most of the people are focusing on machine learning, algorithm, chat GPTs, the tooling, and all that stuff. I believe the core and the secret sauce of all of this artificial intelligence, and especially the generative artificial intelligence, is the training data, which is the underlying power of all the large language models or any foundational models. Now, we know that world doesn't need another video to expound on the virtues of AI, but in this video, I'm just going to explain why I think that training data is the new gold of this artificial intelligence era. As we know that more and more companies are adopting the AI initiatives at an unprecedented pace. So just imagine that by the end of 2022, last year, the number of companies adopting AI has jumped to 69%, which is a huge jump. Now, when it comes to adopting artificial intelligence, the biggest barrier reported is the cost of implementation. And what takes up the biggest chunk of that AI budget? It is sourcing and implementing training data. And it takes around 50% of that budget. Now, lot of that data is just flat out corrupt or bad or dirty. It's unreliable, difficult to manage, and it's entirely possible that artificial intelligence might as well be trained on the laundered data. And the laundered data means that data used to train the model is sourced from yet another AI model that was already trained on a bad data. So, data is bad, we all know that. It is also very expensive. It could be like sourced from a third party which has charged you arm and a hand just to give you that data, and now you have to massage that data, you have to cleanse that data or launder that data. So and you have to deal with that gigantic swath of business implementing AI, and you have to store that data maybe in the cloud, and those costs are different. I'm not even talking about that cost, I'm just talking about the cost of data. So, but even then, because most of the companies are looking at the benefits of AI, so according to a study, 87% of executives in companies are willing to pay more for higher quality training data. And 66% predict that their need for training data to only increase compared to the last year. Now, it seems that the global spend on artificial intelligence was around $118 billion by the end of last year, but by 2026, the number is expected to reach $300 billion, and 20% of that $300 billion will be on that data, which roughly is around 70 to 80 billions dollar, so which is expensive. Now, you can imagine the all the expense which companies are about to shell out for this data, which is still bad. We are not sure about it. Another factor is sourcing of this data. The ability to source reliable data is way more difficult this year and upcoming years than it was in the past, because privacy initiatives like GDPR and CCPA aim to protect consumer data. Major tech players like Google, Apple, Microsoft, AWS are making third party data collection increasingly more difficult. Ongoing legal battles have AI training data at the forefront, with the popular sentiment being that scrapping web data to train AI and claiming it fair use is in jeopardy of becoming a thing of past. So now people are turning to zero party data. Zero party data is the data which a customer intentionally or proactively shares with a brand. It could include preference center data, purchase intention, personal context, and how the individual want the brand to recognize them. And one of the example is from Spotify. Um, and Spotify operated on the premise of building something better than piracy, and they hashed out deals with record labels and agencies to properly license the content streamed on Spotify platform. So maybe something like that could be implemented when it comes to AI training data. But as I said, these are still early days and we are not sure how this thing going to play out. But one thing is 100% sure is that training data are reliable, a good training data will be the secret sauce of a successful large language model, and it will be the backbone of this all generative AI thing which is coming towards us like a freight train. Thanks for listening.